share some information and wisdom. Yo, BSF Tone, shout it out, I see you. Salute to you, my brother. So right now we just getting all the engines and everything, making sure all the wheels are working. MJMG presents, I see you. We getting everything cooking and balanced, making sure all the outlets and everybody could see, hear, and participate. But today we bringing in a producer, goes by the name of Fathom Beats. He's no newcomer to the platform. I actually remember playing some joints on him and people was feeling it. So today we're gonna go for the man behind the music and we're gonna talk a little bit about him, his production. You know, I know his love for music and his drive and his dedication. So tell a friend to jump on. Third Eye 9, I see you. Shout it out, y'all. Yeah, today we have Fathom Beats. We get into the production side of it. We took you all around the globe. We went from artists to directors, actors, musicians, and producers. We taking you around the globe. But in the meantime, what we're gonna do right now, I'm gonna give you a little sketch of what this brother be cooking up. If you didn't know him, and if you didn't hear some of the stuff on the other shows, check this out. This is Love Frenzy. Let's check this out. This is Fathom Beats, and we're gonna be right back with this set, y'all. So stay tuned.
SHU Studio, we get busy.
Shout out to everybody jumping on. The engine is well running. That was a vibe right there. I like how the instruments don't overpower each other, but you get every texture between it. Really like that. Shout out to everybody jumping on today. Like I said, every Monday, 9:30 p.m., we bring you some entertainment, education, and everything in between. Today, we will not fall short. Today, we have a producer. And it's been a little while since I got to chop it up with somebody from NY. Not only from NY, but this brother is from the heart, the birthplace of the culture of this hip-hop thing. It's no other privilege in the world, in the entire world, than that for me. So I want to give a big welcome and shout out to Fathom Beats. Let's warm it up, y'all. Oh, my brother, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing great. Can't complain.
So that last joint that we just heard right now, the Love Frenzy, could you talk a little bit about how you tackle that? How you even get into the start process of that before we even get into anything further?
Just like you mean like how I came up with the beat and everything? Or?
Yeah. How did you didn't just wake up like this is the vibe, or maybe you did, I don't know. But how did you go about making that beat?
I think honestly I was just listening to a lot of old school music, a lot of like 70s, 80s, even the golden era, the 90s, like especially like the 90s R&B, and I just was listening to it a lot, different albums, different artists, and then I just said I'm gonna tackle it, I'm gonna try to make something, and I did. I just started off with the chord progression, and then I went on from there, just added, I just layered it, blended in, and then eventually added the drums, the bass to it, and everything. So that's how I came up with the idea. I didn't think it was gonna come out like that, but it did.
Nice.
So yeah, man. This is
nice.
I really like it.
It's dope. Like I said, I love the way it blends all the different textures. Now, you've been producing for some time now. When was the first time like you sat down and was like, all right, I'm gonna hook up something real quick, and what was that like getting into production?
I think it was it started like when I was once I was in a ministry, like a church ministry. It was like hip hop music, and I was just first I started off rapping, and then I ventured out into that, and then I saw somebody had a music software, and he had like FL Studio, so I started trying it out. He gave me like a copy of it. I started trying it, messing around with it, and I think what really set it off for me was one time I had an artist that just got onto the beat. I mean, it didn't really go nowhere, but like it showed the potential. Like, oh yeah, I could really do this, like every day. I just stay with it, stay consistent, and like 10 plus years later, now still doing it, and it keeps me encouraged. It keeps me going. I can't lie.
From when you first started making your beats and doing your production, how much has changed from? I mean, technology comes quick.
Yeah,
but how much has changed for you that has made it easy in production?
I think easier for me just practicing every day. I like to listen to different genres of music, different instrumentations. Sometimes I go to a live show and implement some of those things I hear and then put it into my production. There's always trying to renovate every time. Every year, music change. I always try to stay ahead. And what helped me, I think what really helped me to do that is just trying to stay. Jeez, how can I put it? Just this is man. It's hard to say, man, but I think it's just really just trying to just be different.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. When you're coming from a passionate place and just creating from what feels good, you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong. But we mentioned what feels good. Was there a moment where you played your beat and you didn't get the response that you wanted? Did that deter you from wanting to keep going, or did that motivate you, if that moment ever happened?
Well, one time it did, but then I thought about it. Once I left that area, that whatever that was, that studio, I was like, I'm gonna use this as motivation. I'm gonna definitely put my head down, keep working, and like just keep grinding. Like, use the stuff that I have, not going out there and, oh, I need this, I need that, I gotta get this, oh, cause blah 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 that. No, just utilize what I have, stock sounds, and I just build off of that, and just get to where the point I'm at now. And it definitely helps. Definitely constructive criticism definitely helps. I use that as motivation. Definitely, still today, definitely. Oh
I
yeah,
feel you. I feel you on that. It ain't always comfortable, but
no,
it can help. It can help. No, it will help regardless. Even if
oh
it's
yeah,
not true, you could take that fire and put it into your craft.
definitely.
So I know as a producer, and the reason why I'm asking this, I'm an artist as well, and there's a bunch of artists that's probably listening. But as a
Uh,
producer, what do you think is one of the errors that artists do when they're trying to seek production or work with a producer or work with you? What are some of the things that you think artists do wrong with that approach?
I think they try to do. Uh, they try to sound too much the the old era. Like, I mean, it's good, but I think they should also put like a twist to it, like make sure you're putting your own style, your own thing to it. It's like, we can't everybody can't be, Biggie or a Tupac from back then in the 90s. It's not possible. It's not. You gotta, okay, take a little bit of what they did probably and just, okay, do your thing. Make that, maybe 10% like you get inspired by them, but then like the other 90%, like that's all you. I think that's my honest opinion. I think, just make sure you're sounding like yourself. No
That's
one
right.
else, no carbon copies, no copies. And I think now, like in this era, like really need like artists, to really like push the envelope and like look above the surface. Look
Yeah.
above the surface and push yourselves.
There is so much room for the independent artists to grow
Yeah,
whether they following new, old, or anything. There's so much room, and I completely agree with you on that. Like artists do need to develop that sound of their own.
yeah.
Now for you, when you got into production, and I know a lot of times we get into these things as a hobby, but did you really at the time when you started it think how in depth production and how impactful production is now for the producer? That's almost comparison to an artist. Like some producers got a buzz, you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Kind of like how artistry, but where do you see that going? First of all, I asked you like 8 questions in that.
No, that's
Did you
okay.
think it would ever get to that point with you as a producer?
I don't think so, because I always looked at the producer as behind the scenes. Like they never get attention or anything. When I remember music growing up, it's like, you never hit a producer unless you bought the CD from your favorite artist and you find like, oh, oh, Timbaland made this, Pharrell made that, or so and so made that beat. And then, you kind of like, you might follow them, but now everybody with this whole social media and having producers going viral off of beats they made, and then the artists, they hear it, somehow they hear it, and they're just like, oh, I gotta contact this producer. And it's just like, wow, like, okay, there's a lane for this too now. Oh wow, producer can actually get on like just like that, it seems like. But I think it's great, man. I really think it's great.
It is. It is. Now, with production and producers, do you, even with the success that producers get, do you feel they, as a producer, you still get the honor and kind of say like the look that you should get as a producer in this day and age? And before you answer that, the reason I ask that, I see now a lot of producers are coming out, and some shortchange, some don't put out. It's more producers now than ever.
Yeah.
Do you think that has clouded the production space? And if you do feel it's clouded, what do you think producers can do to shine through that?
Like, we mean clouded, like it's clouded, like being like
Too
it's
many.
too many producers.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. Shoot, that's a good question. I think, like, man, I feel like I'm still kind of like 50-50 with it, because I think, like, like there's producers out there that are really, really talented, and you got ones that are just doing it as a hobby, just to do it. And sometimes, you got producers that just like I think they just go viral and then like they just get on. But I think like the ones that grind the most, the hardest, do it the honest way. They're the ones that will eventually outshine the ones that are just doing it just to, I
That's
guess, in
true.
a sense, just to get paid.
That's completely true. Yeah,
Cause
that's
you're in it to get paid. You trying to do this 6 months in, and then like, oh, I'm trying to get a placement with so and so, and it don't work that
it
way.
don't work that
It
it
might
don't
take a
at all.
while. It
It
don't.
don't.
So
Do you feel threatened by AI? Like, do you feel that's gonna be a problem for producers in the future, or even now? How do you feel as a producer? How do you feel about that?
AI, no threat to AI with me. No, I don't. It don't bother me. Cause I use my brain still to make the music I make, and I mean I get it maybe as a workflow, but my production no AI with me. But it's just like that human feel. You can't beat it.
You really can't.
Can't that robotic, whatever it is they trying to do. I don't know whatever it is. You can't beat the human feel when they playing the keys, the guitar, the harps. All those instruments. So there's no way.
That's
There's no
true.
way.
You can't beat the human touch and the human improvise. Like
Yeah.
the way we can improvise on a sound. Like, okay, that note is wrong, but it just sounds so good.
Yeah.
AI is not gonna do that. AI is gonna give you the
No.
perfect note, the perfect time, and the perfect.
Exactly.
So I completely say that. Now, in the near future for your production, is there any particular artist that you're trying to work with, or you kind of open to anything? How do you go about, working with artists?
Artists, I try to be open. Like it's just hip hop or R&B or someone that just straight up on songwriting stuff like that. Even people that do movie scores. Working with someone like I guess you would call them a music supervisor, and hey, I want this with these strings with these type of drums. So I'm open to that, and I want to be open to that. I don't want to be in one box. I like my hip hop R&B, but I want to branch out too as well. So that would definitely help.
Nah, branching out is most definitely important, man. That's how we, expand our horizons
Yeah, that's true.
and
Yeah.
grow. Now, if I was a newbie and I was like, I want to get into production, man, and if you had to guide me to like the top 3 DAWs, or for those that don't know what DAW is, the top 3 softwares that I could use to create music, what would you guide me to and why?
All right, so guide you to all the top 3, or just my favorite.
Oh yeah, you could give me your favorite. I want to hear your favorite.
All right, my favorite. I ain't gonna lie, FL Studio. One, my friend introduced me to that years ago, and I've been on it ever since. Over time, yeah, I have taken advantage of using different softwares in the midst of my music journey. Like I've used Ableton, I've used Cubase, I've used Studio One. Ableton also to me is also user friendly once you get around the curve. It's
Okay.
also user friendly as well. So FL Studio, then you got the Ableton, and then the third one would be Cubase or Studio One. I would definitely go with I'll definitely say Studio One because it's still on that side of user friendly, but it's kind of like still in that range of like the maybe Cubase, but a little bit more like still more user friendly. All those are the ones I mentioned user friendly, so those are the ones I definitely mess around with. But my most top favorite is FL Studio, so I could definitely teach somebody to use it. All that type of stuff in FL, how to get around everything, shortcuts, everything. So
I respect that. I asked because FL Studio has been like the household name when it comes. I remember when people were just calling it FruityLoops.
yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
FruityLoops, and then
Oh,
they cleaned up the name a little bit. Do you feel you, and I'm speaking directly to you as a producer, the grind stops, or is the grind just consistent? I could wake up, make a beat, and I ain't got to worry about nothing. Or is it the same as an artist? Like you got to keep putting in that work and keep driving and keep manifesting what you want to happen next.
I think just consistent, keep grinding, keep working. keep putting your head down, keep working that, until you reach your destination. And I hate to say until you reach your destination, because I feel like when you do reach your destination, then you're like, okay, I got to relax, I can be comfortable. But no, I feel like it's, you keep grinding regardless. You got to keep going, put your head down, and continue to work, even when you get there. Because
That's
I believe in the beginning, like I guess I call it the humble beginnings, right?
yeah.
It teaches you like consistency, grinding, like, getting through life, and everything, and keep making music. And when you do get there, and just say like something, God forbid, where something else would happen, when you do make it, you know how to do it because you, in your humble beginnings, you persevered. So,
That's real.
yeah, so.
That's real. Now, is there any particular artist right now, or anything that you working on, that you looking for? Because I got some artists on right now, and artists are one thing we always looking for is production.
Yeah.
Is it so? Is there any artists or projects or things that you got cooking right now?
Yeah, I don't know, as a up and coming artist, the name is go by Young Just, trying to do a collaborative album.
Okay.
He's local. He's from Queens, so we're trying to work. We just keep coming up with ideas, brainstorming, things of that nature. Another artist. I mean, that for that one artist right now, that's it. Then some work with James Catapano in the future soon.
Okay.
With him as well, with his production and everything. And then I guess for myself, with me, it's just, I'm working on another instrumental album that I want to drop in the near future. So,
Okay. You mentioned you're working on another one. Could you talk about the first one?
Yeah, the one I just dropped out was a Perseverance EP.
Mm-hmm.
That instrumental one, that came out last year. So, yeah, so that came out last year. I dropped that around, I think it was around Christmas time. And yeah, it's a Perseverance EP. So that came out last year. So I'm just trying to stay consistent, and like keep dropping like instrumental albums when I can and singles here and there. Definitely.
That's what it's about. What it's about. Now, as a producer, as anything, a creative producer, it really doesn't matter. But social media is a very big part in whatever we doing. I don't care if you selling hats to healthcare, right? Like
Yeah.
everything, social media is everything. Do you find it difficult for producers to get into the light, or you could keep it on you? Do you find it difficult for you in the midst of all the noise of social media to get seen?
Yeah, I do. I find it's a struggle sometimes. It's definitely not easy. It's definitely another grind that you have to deal with and combattle with. But I do think you keep doing your thing, you keep putting it out there. Somebody's out there. They see it in the midst of all this. People that see the nonstop, whatever else that people are promoting, the producers that they're promoting, somebody out there sees it, definitely, and that's what keeps you. That's what keeps me going. So definitely, someone's watching.
Someone is always watching.
Yeah.
And you gotta make do and just on that moment when someone's watching.
Oh yeah.
There's one question, right, that every show, this is the only question that remains the same. Everything else is just conversation built. But if you could look back at the younger version of yourself and give yourself some words of wisdom or share some type of insight with yourself, what would you say and why?
I think I would say something like to my younger self, just just keep going. Keep going, don't stop, man, because the light's at the end of the tunnel. Something's great is going to happen. Just keep going, keep grinding, stay consistent. Use discernment. Use discernment, like be smart. Use wisdom.
Use some wisdom.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong with a little wisdom.
No, you can't.
You really can't. I was gonna say if there was a moment, but I think we all have faced that moment. When those moments of hardship, or if you, I don't want to call it writer's block, but if you get out of a creative space or artists, things are not clicking. What motivates you the most when things are not going well?
Well, like in regards to like maybe like just with music production, like just
Yeah,
like,
music
beat block or
production,
something.
everything. Like even in life itself. Like what do you do to keep that motivation and
That motivation.
perseverance?
I say, man, really, that's a tough one because yeah, you go through life. But I just say, you just gotta, appreciate the little things, the things that you do have. I think that's one of the things I learned. Appreciate the little things you do have, and then uh, obviously, well, just keep doing what you're doing. Stay grounded. Uh, keep helping out in whatever other area. It doesn't have to be music. It could be something else. Like help out around at home, help out around. You know, maybe help out a friend or something that they, a friend that needs help with something, or it's a lot of things, man. But I think like really just I think in those times like appreciating what you have and don't give up.
That's
That's the
that's
thing.
one of the biggest things. Don't give up.
Don't give up. Yeah,
Yeah, that's the only true way to fail is to give
yeah.
up. I don't
Give up.
care how
Yeah.
many roadblocks we face. I don't care how many times we're told no. The moment we put ourselves in park, everything stops.
Mm,
Other than that, keep going. Just keep going. Just keep going.
yep.
In the near future, speaking of keeping going, in the near future, what's in plan? What's in store for Fathom Beats? Like, what do you see yourself, or what's the goal game plan for you as a producer?
So producer, I was just like having. It would be nice to just have some placements underneath my belt. It would be nice, rather it's a movie or with an artist, TV commercial or something. It would be nice to have something like that under my belt. And also just with Fathom Beats, maybe one day turn it into a production company where it's just not about music, but it's also movies and other things, maybe modeling or like bigger than that, bigger than just music. Like stuff like that, cameras and stuff like that. Maybe shooting a short film or shooting photo shoots and stuff, or it could be a lot of things. Being a production company with a show, they got a show going on, and the production company will be a part of that. My production will be a part of that. One day in the future, that'll be something like that.
You got the mind frame, you got the passion, and you got the wisdom. We spoke about the wisdom earlier.
Oh yeah.
And you have the wisdom. You most definitely gonna stay on your trail for that. And I know a lot of us that are on right now, our viewers and our listeners, those that are on Apple TV, Google TV, shout out to y'all. They can hear it, they can see it, and we know that's most definitely in your near future. That's in your near future.
Thanks, man. Thanks, appreciate it.
If somebody wants to reach out to you, or want to do some work, or probably hire you for production, or whatever the case may be, what is the best way for them to get to you?
And so I'll say definitely social media and email. My email is fathombeats fathombeats11@gmail.com. And then the other one would be social media would be Fathom Beats, Fathom Beats _. That will be the one. Two of them really. And those are most of the ones I stay on top of. Especially those two, and TikTok. Yeah, can't forget about TikTok too. Yeah, man. Same thing. Fathom Beats. At Fathom Beats. Yes.
You gotta get your promo on, man. Don't forget all the sites, the landing spaces. Yep. Speaking of Fathom Beats, the name. How did you get the name? Where did the name come from?
Oh man, it's a tough one. That's a tough one because the name came from. Oh man, shoot. Really, the name came from like. I don't want to like. To me, like. I think it's just like it's just something big, something epic, and I was just going through my whole journey, and just growing and growing. Just not producer wise, but as a person. And I just came with the name Fathom because I felt like I was going into like a good direction, like a like something crazy and something. I haven't really sat down and thought about it too much, but it's just really like what I can just tell you is just something epic, something big. Uh, like what I'm doing, like I guess like what I'm doing right now, like this is pretty big for me. Like I never thought I'd see myself doing an interview on camera. I looked at
Wow.
other people. I'm like, I'm not doing that. I'm not getting on camera. Like, it's just like I ain't talking about my music now. But now it was like, oh yeah, like like this happened. Like, all right, cool, yeah, Fathom Beats. So it's like
Yo,
that's the best way I put it.
I want to stop the music right there, right? The name itself holds an empowerment, and I want to say you as well in your words, in your appreciation and dedication, you hold that words. And here on the show, we all know that we're in the time of everyone getting their flowers. But here on the show, we like to give our honor because flowers do die. So I want to take this time to give you your honor for the way you speak, your wisdom, the dedication, and the drive that you had. In every other line, every other segment, question, answer, one thing kept consistent, and that you got to keep going. You got to keep going. And I know there's much that kept you going. And I know there's much that you've been through that you still keep pushing through, still on your journey to where you want to go, wherever that is, you're willing to find out. So I just wanted to give you your honor and
Appreciate
salute
that.
you on
Thank you.
that honor,
Appreciate
my
that.
brother. That was most
Thank you.
definitely super prevalence. And I want to thank you for even jumping on.
Oh, no
But
doubt. Yeah.
before we go, I would like you to just share some words of wisdom to the artists that's out there listening on Instagram, whether they're on Google TV or on the MJMG Presents app. Could you leave us with some words of wisdom? I like the fact wisdom keeps coming up. So could you drop some gems on us before we let you
So,
depart?
sometimes I think, man, as all all the artists that are listening, please know that words, have power. So use it wisely. Be smart, but also, like I was saying, stay grinding, keep going, keep promoting your music, whatever the music that you're promoting, just keep it going. And also, man, use wisdom. Like I've been saying it throughout the interview, use wisdom. There's a lot of wickedness, bad things out here. You guys know that. So please, protect your music and yourselves as well in the whole process.
That's right.
No
I love that. Thank you for those gems, my brother.
doubt,
Thank
man.
you for
No
jumping
doubt.
on. Thank you for holding us down for the night. We're gonna go back into that love frenzy for those that didn't get to hear some of the production. But again, man, I want to thank you for jumping on this Monday, completing our Monday nights of bringing entertainment and education, shedding some light on some very dope people. You are super dope. Your music is dope,
Thank you,
and
man.
your
Appreciate it.
energy. So I want to thank you for that today, man. And on the behalf of our listeners and viewers, much love to you, my brother.
You too, man. Appreciate it, man. I like your stuff. Keep going. You too,
Thank
man.
you.
Yo,
Thank you. I'm
keep
not
going
gonna
with the
stop.
content, man.
I'm not
Yo.
gonna stop, and I'm gonna keep using wisdom, my brother.
All right, yo. That's right.
I'm gonna keep doing that.
All
All
right.
right, my brother. You have a good one. You have a good night.
You too, man. Have a good night. Stay safe.
All right. Shout out to everybody that's on right now. This was super dope. If you just jumping on right now and you didn't get to see the entire show, we was with Fathom Beats. He was giving us a little breakdown of his journey, sharing his insight, most definitely a lot of his wisdom, and he dropped a few gems on us. But if you didn't get anything from tonight, there was one thing that kept consistent. Well, there was two things that kept consistent. There was don't stop, and there was wisdom. And he was like, you got to use wisdom because there's a lot of evilness, right? And, I studied within the Nation of Islam. I studied a whole lot of things. They used to just say, wisdom is the wise words spoken by the wise man, right? And wisdom has a lot more to it. Every time we adopt into a journey and an experience, there's an understanding, right? But before you could get to the understanding, you actually have to do the knowledge to it. You have to really look at the spectrum of the situation and take from it what you can. And sometimes we don't take from the situations as much as we can, right? But we take a little bits and pieces. And when you take little bits and pieces of circumstances and experience, you tap into that knowledge, right? And once you have that knowledge, when you're walking around with that knowledge and you fall into a situation and you look around, you could take some of those pieces and be like, oh, wait a minute, this kind of looks familiar. And you could put some of your experiences before you to get in wisdom. You start to utilize your knowledge in circumstances so you could get past them to your understanding. So take your journey. Don't stop. Take bits of knowledge through all your experiences, your hardships, your falls, your celebrations, your ups and your downs. And you take that and you store that. And while you're going across your journey, don't forget your luggage. Don't forget the items you have, because you're going to run across circumstances that your experience, your knowledge, your experience is going to remind you, your wisdom, and then you can move forward past it or over it because you have an understanding. Shout out to Fathom Beats, man. He said keep wisdom, and I wanted to just touch on that. So if you didn't get anything, do the knowledge to get to your wisdom so you can most definitely get a greater understanding of your circumstances. Shout out to y'all. But like promised, we're going to go into Fathom's Beats, Love Frenzy. Shout out to Fathom Beats. It was most definitely empowering. It was very reflective for me. It brought out some attributes in the boy that I ain't really tapped into a long time. But let's check this out, y'all. Y'all have a good night. Wisdom, that's right, Miss J. Wisdom. Let's check this out, man. This is Love Frenzy, man. Y'all have a good night. Be safe. Check us out every Monday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern, right here on SHU Radio by way of MJMG Presents.
SHU Studio. We get busy.